So, Wit Studio's very first film is a masterpiece?
Shut up and sit down.
Yo, what's good? It's a boy dude reviews, and let's talk about how Wit Studio's very first film. So what's it all about? Well, Kurumi, a beautiful young woman whose boyfriend, Hao, tragically died in a sudden plane accident, is left heartbroken, gloomy, and a deep state of depression, hiding herself in a small house. But when her grandfather requests the help of a humanoid robot to get Kurumi out of her depression, this robot takes the face of her ex-boyfriend, Hao. So how would this new relationship form and blossom? Now, going into this film, I knew nothing about it. Heck, I didn't even know this was Wit Studio's first film until I saw it on Wikipedia. So let's just talk about the good of this film. I do like the whole concept of the main character, Hal, who originally was human, but now the grandfather used one of his robots to try and replicate the face and body of Hal, and how this robot is trying to understand the past and his and Kurumi's relationship and what they went through in the past, and just dealing with some unresolved fights and issues they had between one another. We see most of the flashback via this holographic chip where we see bits and pieces of their past. I like how they sprinkle little details in, but when you come to the end of the film, everything is just completely flipped on its head. You really do love how, despite him being a robot, he tries his damn best to try and cheer up this girl who's just lost her boyfriend, and it's understandable she's grieving and she's just being miserable inside. A simple yet pretty heartwarming romance between the two of them. It's a bit obvious they're going to rekindle their romance and relationship and possibly get back together. I do love some of the facial animations in this movie, some of the lighting and just the way the characters are reacting and talking. You really feel the emotions out of these drawings. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the mixed aspect of this film, and I would have loved to have seen a bit more development and explanation between Hal and his best friend in the middle half of the film where he confronts him. I guess it is tied to the subplot of Hal when he was a human at the time, him wanting to have a lot of money and he'd be able to gain more respect from other people. So while that subplot does tie into their relationship of Kurumi and Hal, it does feel kind of underdeveloped. They could have explained a bit more, and that's another issue with the film, is the short runtime. It's barely an hour long. I feel like that extra 30 to 40 minutes would have definitely benefited the movie overall. I don't really have anything negative to say for this film. I really had a ball watching it, but with that out of the way, I highly recommend you to watch it. And now we're going to talk about spoilers because I need to get something off my chest, and I think I did hint it in the beginning of the video that there are some twists and turns in this movie, and the main twist does come towards the end of the film. We see Hal's old buddy of his from the past kidnap Kurumi for some reason, and when you're watching this whole situation, you think Hal's best friend is not a good guy. He's probably doing something kind of creepy and shady just for money. But as he's beating the living daylights out of his poor buddy, Hal starts to fully unlock all of his memories of what truly happened in the past between him and Kurumi. And the big twist is the fact that Hal isn't a robot, he is human, and Kurumi was the robot all along. We see in a flashback montage that Hal and Kurumi had a fight in an airport. Kurumi got on a plane to go somewhere and the plane crashed, and Hal pretty much went into a deep state of depression and he started to think of himself more of a robot than a human. This was such a heartbreaking twist, as the whole theme of the movie was just how people deal with grief and loss and how loved ones try and help those who are grieving over someone. And just for it to be revealed that it was the boy all along who was grieving and suffering just makes this whole situation more sad. Damn, I felt so bad for the dude when I found out what really happened at the end. How all of his actions throughout the entire film are completely flipped on his head when you realize that he was the one who was alive and living and Kurumi was the robot. I just love the little foreshadowings and clues this movie sprinkles throughout the 1 hour running time. But mate, when he was just breaking down and realizing that he was alive all along and Kurumi died on that plane accident, and him just not wanting to come to terms with her loss, just the animation, the voice actor, give this dude an award. He deserves it. And just seeing how his best friend is just so heartbroken over the fact that his friend is just not being able to move on from this traumatic experience. It really made for a really emotional and intense scene, possibly the best part of the entire movie in my opinion, and I kind of want to rewatch it now because knowing what happened and knowing that he isn't a robot, I kind of want to go back and see all these little nuances, all these little moments that he had with other people and his interactions with the side characters, the grandfather man, the old ladies. Yeah, I really enjoyed this film, and if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. This movie, without a doubt, gets a 9 out of 10 and an A. Go check it out, I highly recommend it. It's on Crunchyroll right now. But tell me in the comments down below what you guys thought of this movie review. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What do you think of this movie? Tell me. Like this video, subscribe for more anime, manga, reactions, reviews, comparisons, breakdowns, rankings, and more. But thank you for watching, and as always, a Boy Did Review signing out.